Everyone keeps telling you the same thing. You're losing because of your psychology. You need more discipline. Control your emotions. And maybe you've believed it because it sounds right. But there's a question you have to answer first, and almost nobody asks it. Do you actually have an edge? And here's the harder part. Even if you do, could you tell? Because this is what makes trading different from almost any other skill. The feedback is noisy. In most skills, do it right and you see a good result. Do it wrong and you see a bad one. Trading isn't like that. You can make a great decision and lose. You can make a terrible decision and win. Over any short stretch, the outcome tells you almost nothing about the quality of what you did. Let me show you why that matters. Say you have a real edge, a system that wins 55% of the time. That's genuinely good. Now run it. You will still hit losing streaks of 5, 6, sometimes more, again and again. Not because the edge broke, not because you got emotional. That's just what 55% looks like up close. That's variance. Now flip it around. Take a coin. No edge at all, pure chance. Flip it 100 times and you'll get runs of 6 or 7 heads in a row. If that run were your account, you'd feel unstoppable. You'd size up. You'd tell yourself you finally figured it out. And you'd have figured out nothing. So sit with what that means. A trader with a real edge spends a lot of time looking like a failure. A trader with no edge spends a lot of time looking like a genius. From the inside, in the moment, the two can feel exactly the same. This is the trap. You take 20 trades, you're down, so you decide the strategy is broken and you switch. New one, 15 trades, rough patch, switch again. This is the single most common pattern in retail trading, and it quietly guarantees you lose. You're never giving any edge enough time to show up through the noise. You're reacting to randomness and calling it adapting. And here's the uncomfortable part. The smaller your edge, the more trades you need before you can even be sure it's real. We're usually talking hundreds, not dozens.
So if you're judging your strategy on a week or on your last handful of trades, you're not measuring skill, you're measuring weather. How you actually separate a real edge from a lucky run with numbers is its own deep topic. Subscribe and I'll walk you through the exact way to do it in another video. So let's go back to where we started, your psychology. Here's what I want you to consider. A lot of what gets called a discipline problem isn't one. If you don't have a proven edge, no amount of discipline saves you. You'd just be disciplined while you lose. Executing a system that doesn't work with perfect emotional control is not progress. It's a tidier way to go broke. That's why just be more disciplined keeps failing you. It's answering the wrong question. So what do you actually do? 3 things in order. First, define your edge so it can be proven wrong. Not, I trade breakouts, something testable. This setup, these conditions, this is where I get in, this is where I get out. If you can't write it down clearly enough to test, you don't have a strategy yet. You have a feeling. Second, stop judging it on outcomes. Judge it on a sample. Track your expected value per trade across a real number of them, not your last few. One bad day means nothing. One good day means nothing. The average over a large sample is the only thing telling you the truth. Third, stop strategy hopping. Pick one testable edge and give it enough trades to actually report back. Switch every time variance bites, and you'll never know if anything you do works. Now here's where psychology comes back, and where it actually belongs. Once you've done this, once you have an edge you've genuinely proven, then there's exactly one thing left that can take it from you. Your own behavior in the moment. Sizing up after a loss, moving the stop, jumping in early. You can have a real edge and still hand it back, one impulsive click at a time. And the hard part is you can't see it happening while it happens. That narrow, real place is the only place psychology actually decides anything. It's also, honestly, what we built Meridian for. It watches for those exact behavioral slips in real time during your session and flags them the moment they show up, before the edge you proved leaks away one click at a time. It can't fix a strategy that doesn't work. Nothing can. It's for the trader who's already done the hard part. So here's where this leaves you. Before you spend one more week trying to fix your head, prove you have something worth protecting. And be honest with yourself for a second. How many trades have you really given your current strategy before deciding it works or it doesn't? Tell me in the comments. I read every one.
And I think a lot of you already know that number is too small. If this changed how you're looking at your own trading, that's the whole point of this channel. We treat trading like a science. Prove the edge, measure the process, then guard the behavior. All of it built on what actually holds up instead of gut feeling. Subscribe, and I'll hand you one piece of that system every video. And a like helps the next trader who's about to dump a strategy on noise find this before they do.